Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 Max Awards, powered by the Why So Serious Show, and your host, Max Bechtoldt.
Hello and welcome to the Max Awards. Now, like all awards hosts in 2020-2021, yes, I am wearing athletic shorts down low. This is a strictly, somewhat black tie affair, but if you are wearing a beanie, of course, I will not judge because I am Max and I always wear a beanie everywhere I go. Now, for the most part, this will be a light affair, but I must acknowledge the year that was 2020. Some of the winners and nominees I remember seeing the trailers of. Some of them way too many times to count in a theater, some of which I almost didn't want to see the movie because I saw these trailers 100 times. But a few of these films I was lucky enough to see in theaters in January, February, and early March. I have what feels like a lifetime of memories with some of these movies. I hope in 2021 we can get back to those great days of being able to relax and enjoy and escape in a cinema. Now, I will not spend time on a dumb monologue filled with lazy jokes. At the Max Awards, we love and respect cinema. So instead, I will be spending this monologue time reviewing some of the recent films to be released on streaming, some that you can watch right now. The first film I will be reviewing is The Little Things, which is directed by John Lee Hancock, the director of The Founder and the director of The Blind Side. He is a director who knows how to really expertly pace films. He did not know how to expertly pace this film. This film is awful. It is a movie that he has been trying to get made since the 90s. He wrote this movie in 1991, apparently, the rumor says. It feels like it was written in 1991. This is one of the worst movies in years. It stars Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared Leto, all of whom are Oscar winners. One of them is in the audience here today, Jared Leto, as you can see right there next to Jesse. Now, The Little Things is each of their worst performance I've ever seen. And that is saying something because I've seen some bad performances from Rami Malek. This is an awful, awful movie. It is so impossible to get through. I give The Little Things a D+, and I am baffled that this movie is nominated for not just a Golden Globe, but also a Screen Actors Guild Award for Jared Leto in Best Supporting Actor. The next movie is Malcolm and Marie, which is a movie that I liked a lot, despite a lot of critics absolutely hating this film. This film is an attack on critics, specifically critics who look for a political angle in any movie. This movie follows John David Washington and Zendaya, who are both fantastic, both award-worthy if they were eligible for these awards. They both give incredible performances in a movie that is shot beautifully. It was one of the first movies made post-coronavirus quarantine. It is all shot in one location. It is just these two actors the entire time. It is dialogue the entire way through, but it is absolutely compelling. And I loved it. I really, really did. I loved it enough to give it a A- score. The next film is Music, which is nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Picture and Best Lead Actress. There is very little I can say about Music, but the one thing I can say about Music is this is the worst movie in the last 10 years. I feel confident saying that. This is the most offensive, repulsive, absolutely cringeworthy film that I have seen maybe in my entire life. This is not an exaggeration. This movie is tanking with all the critics, tanking with every audience, is a movie that deals with autism in all of the worst and most offensive ways, playing on every stereotype possible. I don't know how this movie is nominated for awards other than is directed by music star Sia. And the Golden Globes wants to get Sia to join in on their virtual show. That must be the only explanation. This is a bona fide F minus. Now, the same day I watched Sia's music, I also watched Judas and the Black Messiah, which is one of the best movies in years. And it frankly made me believe that movies can be good again because music took all of that belief away. Judas and the Black Messiah is such a throwback, shot just like a 70s film, but so uniquely fresh to the 2010s, endlessly relevant, endlessly engaging, with the actor of this generation, Daniel Kaluuya, giving his best performance yet. This is an absolutely jaw-dropping film that is so enjoyable, so interesting, so terrifyingly shocking at the end that this movie gave me no choice but to give it an A+. It is the best movie of the decade so far. Sadly, it is not eligible for this year's Max Awards, but next year, I imagine it's going to play a big presence in the awards. Finally, Barb and Star visit Vista Del Mar, which is the goofiest, dumbest, stupidest, most balls to the wall, crazy movie that has been made in the last 5 years. This movie reminds me a lot of Airplane or Caddyshack, a movie that is unafraid to go for the dumbest possible joke at any given second. The cameos in this movie are insane. I don't even want to spoil some of the absolute legends of music and film that they get to give the dumbest performances possible in this movie because they are so funny when they happen. Now, I will say this movie is currently available on Amazon Prime for $20. It is not worth the $20 to pay for it. Wait till this movie drops to $6 or $7. It will be more than worth it. You will enjoy it. It will make you laugh for an hour and 40 minutes. Now, I don't want to draw this out too much. That, by the way, Barb and Star gets a B. Now, I don't want to draw this out too much. The Oscars has been trying to shorten their show for years, and it is still running at a solid 2.5 hours every time, no matter what. The Max Awards will not be 2.5 hours. This is your chance to get a taste of what the best films, best performances, and best writing of the year is in just a short period of time. So sit back and relax and watch the Max Awards. All right. So just before we get into the actual awards and actual nominees, I want to just run over quickly what was eligible for these movies or for these awards. And the eligibility is a little bit tough to describe because these are movies that were made available to me in the year 2020. So some 2019 films are eligible for these awards if I was not able to see them in a theater or on a streaming service before January 1st, 2020. Some 2020 films that came out on a streaming service post January 1st, 2021 are not eligible because, again, I was not able to see them. So any movie that I was able to physically go see between January 1st, 2020, January 1st, 2021, those are the films that are eligible. Now, before I give these nominees, I will say also, these are in the order that I viewed them. They are not in alphabetical order. They are not in order of preference. These are in order of when I viewed these movies. So let's start off with the TV categories first. And the first category is Best TV Performance. The nominees are Zoe Chow in Love Life, Pedro Pascal in The Mandalorian, Jeremy Strong in Succession, Kieran Culkin in Succession, and Sarah Snook in Succession. And the winner for Best TV Performance is Jeremy Strong in Succession. This year, Jeremy Strong really went all out in his role as Kendall Roy in Succession. His character went so many twists and turns, so many ups and downs, and he played it perfectly throughout, whether it was playing a depressed, sullen addict or somebody at the top of his game rapping for a crowd of lovers and absolute admirers. He was able to nail it every step of the turn. So next, the nominees for Best Television Show are Succession, Love Life, Survivor, The Mandalorian, and The Last Dance. And the winner for Best Television Show is The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian hit on every level it needed to for Star Wars fans. It once again found the perfect middle point between nostalgia and giving us new adventures. There are many characters that come from the original films that this is the first time we've seen them again. And they were such refreshing new cameos, new ways to enjoy these characters, and such a great expansion of the universe in a show that weekly delivered in a way that almost no other show I've ever watched has, by being so consistently good. Now, because I don't watch much TV, we have already moved on from the TV categories into the film categories. So our first category is Best Breakout Performance. Now, this doesn't mean these are the first performances of any of these actors. This just means this is the first time that they were able to get this big of a platform to show off their talent. So the nominees are Betty Gilpin for The Hunt, Zoe Chow for The High Note, Maria Baklava for Borat, subsequent movie film, Mamadou Athi for Uncorked, and Lucas Jai for Driveways. Now, we are going to get into some of these awards that have both silver and gold winners. That means we have a second place and a first place. We are not like the Oscars. We are not like the Golden Globes. We aren't afraid to honor more than one recipient. So the winner of the silver award for Best Breakout is Zoe Chow for The High Notes. And the winner for the gold award for Best Breakout is Maria Baklava for Borat, subsequent movie film. This performance required so much. This movie is so largely improvised and so zany and interesting and unique and weird in a way that only Borat films can be. These inspire such unique performances. And Maria Baklava actually gave an emotional performance in a Borat film. How insane is that? These crazy, insane, dumb comedies. She gave such an emotional performance. She is a shining star for the future, and I can't wait to see what she does next. And that, to me, is the definition of a great breakout performance.
Very nice performance. Very nice. Very nice. Get it?
So, I get it. Good Borat reference there, Jesse. Next, we are on to Best Soundtrack in a film. This both encompasses the original score for a soundtrack and the pop music that might play throughout the film. Some of these films have no real score. Some of these films have no real pop music that play in them, but that is fine. As long as this soundtrack is something that I deem worthy, it will be nominated. So, first nominee is The Five Bloods, Tenet, Soul, Uncorked, and Promising Young Woman. Now, the Silver Award for the best soundtrack of the year goes to Disney Pixar's Soul. And the gold for best soundtrack goes to The Five Bloods.
Yeah. Just saw that movie today. Woo!
The Five Bloods is so perfect. Five Bloods combines an incredible score by Terrence Blanchard, who was robbed of an Oscar win for Black Klansman just a couple years ago for best score. He delivers another haunting, incredible score that really, really drives home so many of the themes of this movie. Combine that with the pop soundtrack consisting of all Black artists from the Vietnam War era, something that usually you don't see much of in Vietnam War era movies. You hear a lot of CCR, you hear a lot of The Doors. You don't hear as much Marvin Gaye. And that is something that Spike Lee and the music department really focused on in this film, and it really paid off. It gives this film such a unique, different perspective within the realm of Vietnam films, and that is why it has won Best Soundtrack.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Great soundtrack.
So now we are moving on to Best Comedy Film, Non-Family. So I really didn't include anything PG or lower in this. That I just wanted to differentiate the family film family film category from the comedy film category. So the nominees are Birds of Prey, The King of Staten Island, Promising Young Woman, Borat, subsequent movie film, and Happiest Season. And the Silver Award for Best Comedy goes to Happiest Season. And
I just hosted SNL.
Hmm?
That guy just hosted SNL.
Yeah, he's from Schitt's Creek, which I believe Matt watches, correct?
I'm watching it right now. This is one of the greatest things I've ever watched, and he plays one of the greatest characters I've ever seen. I did not know he was in a movie.
This movie is fantastic. He is fantastic in it. This movie is on Hulu right now for anybody wondering. It is a Christmas movie, so it might not be the season, but something to keep in mind for next November, December. And the Gold Award for Best Comedy goes to Promising Young Woman.
Wow, upset.
Now, this is an interesting one. There has been some controversy, even at the Golden Globe Awards, if this is a comedy or not. This is a very dark movie. It's a very dark and dour comedy, but I did laugh during it. I do consider this a comedy film. And it is not just a great comedy. It is one of the best films of the year, with some of the best performances of the year that really, really make this movie just such a fun watch, while also acknowledging the darkness within it. I think this should be, and rightfully is, a Best Picture contender at the Oscars. Promising Young Woman is a fantastic film, and it's the best comedy of the year. So, moving on to Best Family Film. The nominees are Sonic, the movie, Onward, Trolls World Tour, Soul, and Wolfwalkers. The Silver Award for Best Family Film goes to Onward. And the Gold Award for Best Family Film goes to Soul.
Woo.
Soul is not only the best family film to watch this year. If there was one film that I could pick for everybody to watch specifically in this year that we've had, in these last 12 months that we've had, it would be Soul. No movie so specifically is about appreciating every moment of life, no matter the good or bad, quite like Soul is. It really, really made me feel good for the full 24 hours after I watched it. No matter what's going on in your life, there's always something to be appreciative for. There's always something to be thankful for, even if just life itself is that. And for a Pixar family film to achieve that is so strong and so powerful. Not to mention, this movie has some of the funniest jokes that a Pixar movie has ever had, including one at the expense of the New York Knicks, tying it back to sports. That is absolutely laugh out loud hilarious and needs to be seen to be understood. And so Soul is the gold winner for best family film.
Can't wait to watch it.
So now we're moving on to one of the biggest awards of the night. The Golden Globes has this one big award, this one big career achievement award, the award that everybody wants to get throughout their career. The Max Awards version of that is the Tom Hardy Award. Now, of course, the Tom Hardy Award is in honor of the most acting of the year. This is not best acting of the year. This is most acting of the year. This is the person that when you watch that movie, you're like, I don't know if they're good or bad, but they went for it. They went for it every second of the time. You could not turn away from them. So the nominees for the Tom Hardy Award, named in honor of Venom star Tom Hardy, are Ewan McGregor for Birds of Prey, Hugh Grant for The Gentleman, Chadwick Boseman for The Five Bloods, Jeremy Strong for The Trial of the Chicago 7, and Pedro Pascal for Wonder Woman 1984. Now, if you will realize for a second, in true fashion for the Tom Hardy Award, you will notice 3 of these actors do not look anything like they look in regular day. That is because the Tom Hardy Award also encompasses the transformation, the full difference from what you are like in regular life to what you turn into on screen. You want a full differential transformation. And so the winner of the Tom Hardy Award, which only has one award, it only has a gold award, is Ewan McGregor for Birds of Prey.
Woo! Yeah.
Every
McGregor.
Every single moment Ewan McGregor is on screen, you can't help but watch him. Literally, you can't help but watch him because he is chewing up the entire screen. He is doing crazy yelling. He is doing crazy body movements. He is dancing. He is doing so much acting. I'm not sure if any of it is even good acting, but he is doing so much of it that he makes this movie almost solely enjoyable just based on him. This is one of the craziest performances ever, and it is truly, truly worthy of being in the same conversation as Tom Hardy in Venom. Gotta take a sip.
Terrible movie, by the way.
Venom?
Horrible movie.
We'll get into that later. Venom's a great movie. It's better than Infinity War.
I don't disagree.
Just saying. All right, best cinematography, A Hidden Life, 1917. Portrait of a Lady on Fire, The Five Bloods. I know Jesse disagrees with that.
What? It grew on me as the movie went on.
And Pieces of a Woman. The Silver Award for Best Cinematography goes to Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Woo!
And
On
the
fire.
Gold Award for Best Cinematography goes to A Hidden Life. Now, when I mentioned in my monologue that some movies I almost didn't want to see because I saw a trailer so much, this is one of those movies. I saw this film in early January at the Harkins at Fashion Square in Scottsdale. But I saw the trailer at the Harkins at Fashion Square at Scottsdale for 5 months, probably 50 times total. I can tell you every single second of that trailer. It almost made me not want to see the film, as I said before.
Try working at a movie theater.
You probably saw this trailer a lot if you did.
I saw like every movie's trailers like 40 times.
This trailer haunts me in my nightmares because I saw it so much. Damn it, though, the movie is so good. And this movie is so beautiful. You can see in this picture here just the vast landscapes. The whole movie looks like this. The mountains, the fog, the fields. It's all so gorgeous that even though I saw this movie trailer 1,000 times, when I stepped in the actual theater, which was absolutely packed with 90-year-olds, because it was like a Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and it's like a 3-hour and 30-minute movie, I was still transported, even though the person next to me couldn't stop coughing, which was very unsettling at that time. But this movie is absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is a sight to see, and I'm so glad I got to see it on the big screen before theaters shut down. So we're getting into some of the big time awards now. And one of those is Best Screenplay. Unlike the Oscars, I do not separate adapted and original screenplay. I think that a great screenplay is a great screenplay, no matter if it is based off a book, play, or just out of the person's brain. This is the best screenplay category. And the nominees are Portrait of a Lady on Fire, The Five Bloods,
Woo! Yeah.
Soul, Promising Young Woman, and Driveways. And the Silver Award for Best Screenplay goes to Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Woo! Yeah. I'm getting to it.
And the Gold Award for Best Screenplay goes to Promising Young Woman.
Woo! I really need to see this movie.
You do. Come over to my place. We'll watch it sometime.
Yeah.
This movie was the winner for Best Comedy. Now, for me, a lot of times, the best comedy and the best screenplay will likely overlap because I think a great comedy screenplay is a truly great screenplay, especially if they can give you a great story, great characters, along with some funny dialogue and an interesting overall narrative, which this film gave me. The characters in this film are so good, and there are so many of them, and each of them feel unique and so well developed. This movie is one of the best screenplays in recent memory, and I'm so glad that I got to see this film. And I will get more to Promising Young Woman, how it got in on a technicality, because though I didn't see it in 2020, it technically was available to me in 2020.
Well, it was released in 2020.
It was released in 2020, December 25th. So even though I didn't see it in that year, I was able to. So it did get in on a technicality, I will say that.
Squeezed right in there.
Yeah. Best Under the Radar Film, the first nominee is Les Miserables, For Sama, The Assistant, Driveways, and Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Say that 5 times fast.
Never, rarely, sometimes, always. Never, rarely, sometimes,
Really,
always.
always, no.
Never, rarely, sometimes, always. Never, rarely.
Never,
sometimes,
rarely, sometimes, always. Okay.
I messed up on the 5th one. Darn.
All right.
So,
But it's because Ellen was looking over my shoulder trying to play a prank on me.
Just a gold award here.
what was it? Yes, just a gold award here. And the winner for best under the radar film is the documentary for Sama. This film came out way back in 2019, technically, wasn't released in the United States until 2020. I actually very specifically remember watching this in Cronkite before recording an episode of the Why So Serious show. I watched this in the Cronkite lobby beforehand.
Was that when you were post a student and would just guest host sometimes?
Correct. But this film is harrowing. It is absolutely tragic. It is truly one of the saddest films I've ever seen. And it's because it is so real, it is documented by such a real voice, a real person just down there on the streets in such a tough situation. I don't want to give away more because I think it's better seen than talked about. But I thought this film not only should have won Best Documentary last year at the Oscars, it was nominated for it. It didn't win. It should have won. It also should have won Best Foreign Language Film last year at the Oscars. It is an absolutely incredible movie. And yes, I know Parasite was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Oscars last year. I think this should have beat it. This is once in literally a generation movie. And it is so worth seeing. It will be the hardest hour and 40 some minutes that you'll have to sit through, but is incredibly, incredibly powerful. So, on to the nominees for the best ensemble of the year. So this is just purely based on the cast. It is not just 1 or 2 or 3 performances. We are looking 7, 8, 9, 10 performances deep. A movie that just has a cast that is stacked, that from top to bottom give great performances. So, the nominees for Best Ensemble are Birds of Prey, The Five Bloods, Happiest Season, Uncorked, and Promising Young Woman. And the Silver Award for Best Ensemble goes to The Five Bloods.
Woo! Yeah.
And
Best movie of the year that I've seen.
I think it's a great movie. And the Gold Award for Best Ensemble goes to Happiest Season. Now, here's the thing about Happiest Season. While The Five Bloods, the truly great performances are better than the great performances in Happiest Season. Happiest Season goes so deep in such a great comedic ensemble. Every single person who has a line in this movie contributes to the overall feel of the comedy of the movie. Everybody from Kristen Stewart to Dan Levy to Allison Brie, they all contribute so heavily to it. This is such a great cast, and I enjoyed watching every single person in this movie so much. Any of them could have been nominated for the acting awards, which we'll get to in a minute. Any of them could have been. So next, we are on to Best Film Editing. The nominees are The Five Bloods, Tenet, Promising Young Woman, Pieces of a Woman. Those are very similar titles. It confused me all award season leading up to when I saw these two films. And First Cow. You see that there? That's the first cow.
I assumed it was the first cow.
And the Silver Award for Best Film Editing goes to Promising Young Woman.
It's cleaning up at the Max Awards.
And the Gold Award for Best Film Editing goes to Pieces of a Woman. Now, this was a movie that I really wanted represented here because it does have such good cinematography, such incredible performances. But that whole cinematography was made impossible without the incredible film editing present here. The first 30 minutes of this movie are so impeccably directed, edited, shot, everything, that it was breathtaking to watch. The entire film is so tight, so well done, so dramatic all the way through. It never loses steam. It's one of the best movies of the year, and it is absolutely spectacularly edited, and it is very worthy of winning this award. All right, so we are on to the truly big ones. These are the ones where that last commercial break happens at the Oscars. You go get your snack, you go to get your soda, and you come back and you watch these awards. So we are on to Best Supporting Performance. Now, I do these differently. I do not break these up into genders and sexes. I believe that that is not a qualification for acting.
Thank you.
I do not think it is necessary. So I nominate 10 performances, regardless of how that person identifies, to be nominated for Best Supporting Performance and Best Lead Performance. So the nominees for Best Supporting Performance are Chadwick Boseman in The Five Bloods,
Pause till the end.
I'm sorry.
Mark Rylance in The Trial of the Chicago 7, Robert Pattinson in Tenet, Toni Collette in I'm Thinking of Ending Things, Maria Baklava in Borat subsequent movie film,
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry again. I gotta wait till the end.
Aubrey Plaza in Happiest Season, Coleman Domingo in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Courtney B. Vance in Uncorked, Bo Burnham in Promising Young Woman, and Brian Dennehy in Driveways. The Silver Award for Best Supporting Performance goes to Mark Rylance in The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Woo!
And the Gold Award for Best Supporting Performance goes to Chadwick Boseman in The Five Bloods.
Woo!
Now, for Chadwick Boseman at this stage in his life, in this stage with his health, to play a role that so directly deals with mortality and deals with how your mortality leaves a mark on other people, and that power to inspire people for years and years and years. I think this was such a brave performance to take on. I think he steals every scene he is in. He is the center of attention every time he's on screen, and he commands that attention. There are some scenes towards the end where Chadwick Boseman literally takes my breath away watching him, and I could watch this performance on a loop constantly. Also, this is the ideal supporting performance. So often in award shows, they give supporting awards to lead performances. This is a true supporting performance. Chadwick Boseman is not in this film a whole lot compared to the overall running time. This is a true supporting performance that he completely steals every scene in. And these are the reasons why Chadwick Boseman wins Best Supporting Performance at the Max Awards. So now we are on to Best Lead Performance. And the nominees are Ben Affleck for The Way Back, Delroy Lindo for The Five Bloods. Pete Davidson for The King of Staten Island. It's a great performance. Jesse Buckley for I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Kristen Stewart for Happiest Season. That's right. Both Twilighters get nominated at the Max Awards. We don't discriminate against former Twilight actors.
Why should you?
There's no reason to.
Meryl Streep smiling.
So many great actors came out of those movies. Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Overrated.
Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal. Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. And Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman.
Before you move on, is this the first time that we're seeing an actor nominated for both a best lead and best supporting performance in the same year for different films?
At the Max Awards, it is. It has happened in the Oscars, and it will happen this year again at the Oscars with Chadwick Boseman. At the Oscars previously, it has happened with Jamie Foxx, actually. Jamie Foxx won for Ray in the same year he was nominated in Best Supporting Actor for Collateral. Those are his only 2 Oscar nominations, fun fact.
Wow, that is a fun fact.
Year and then kind of was...
Yeah, he had a huge year, and then he definitely profited off of it. I mean, he went on to do Django Unchained, which is a great movie. I mean, he's a good actor. I mean, he had just that one massive year at the Oscars. So, the Silver Award for Best Lead Performance is Carey Mulligan in Promising Young Woman. Woo! And the Gold Award for Best Lead Performance is Delroy Lindo for The Five Bloods.
Woo! Such a good performance. Really good job.
Now, Delroy Lindo, when The Five Bloods came out, was the Oscar frontrunner. Everybody was picking him to win the Oscar, including myself. I thought this performance was absolutely insanely good. But at the Golden Globes and the SAG Awards, he was snubbed. Somehow, almost everybody had him as a guarantee nominee, and he was completely snubbed. How will that affect his Oscars campaign? I don't know. But it didn't affect his Max Awards campaign, because the more I watch this performance, the more I pick up out of it. And the last 40 minutes, Delroy Lindo gives a master class in how to give a unique, brave performance. He has so many scenes at the end, including the one that is depicted by this picture, where he has to give so many different emotions. Throughout the entire movie, it is a portrait of PTSD for former veterans. From his first line of the movie to the end, you can tell there is something tortured, yet so charismatic about this character. And it all comes from the performance of Delroy Lindo, who traditionally has been a little bit of a journeyman actor. He hasn't really been a lead performance actor a lot of times. He's worked a lot with Spike Lee. And this was one of his first true big-time lead performances in a big movie. And he delivered in a way that is so unique, so interesting, and deserves recognition. That is why he won the Max Award for Best Lead Performance. Woo! So now we are on to Best Director, the second biggest award of the night.
Yes.
And the nominees are Celine Sciamma for Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Spike Lee for The Five Bloods. Kitty Green for The Assistant. Darius Martyr for Sound of Metal, a movie that I think Jesse would really love. You should watch it. And Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. And the Silver Award for Best Director goes to Celine Sciamma for Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And the Gold Award for Best Director goes to Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. Now, when I look at what?
Pullman, I had to get one in there.
Now, Promising Young Woman is such an exquisitely directed film because every single part of this movie works. The casting is incredible. Casting a bunch of comedians who you know from supporting roles on television, or you know from YouTube, or you know from a movie that they did 20 years ago. That's the casting of this movie for the most part. You've got music. This movie uses the music of Paris Hilton to drive the story, and it works. You've got costumes. This movie has a lot of bright costumes, interesting, different looks that you don't see a lot. The production design, as you can see here, the light blue, light pink, a lot of different production design colors that are really, really pop, that really are intriguing. And the entire thing just feels like such a director's vision. She also wrote this, which doesn't hurt. She also was the winner of Best Screenplay at these awards, if you remember back 10 minutes ago or so. And she brought that screenplay to life in such an incredible, such a unique way. I can't wait to see what she does next. This was her first feature film, and it is an absolute masterwork. And that is why she is the winner of Best Director. Woo. So now we are at the biggest award of the night. We are at Best Picture. The nominees are A Hidden Life, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, For Sama, The Way Back, The Five Bloods, Soul, The Assistant, Sound of Metal, Promising Young Woman, and Pieces of a Woman. And the Silver Award for Best Picture goes to Promising Young Woman.
Oh.
We have heard this name a lot throughout the night. It has won a lot of the big awards, a lot of the precursors for Best Picture. It has won Best Director. It has won Best Screenplay. It won the Silver Award for Best Editing. It won the Silver Award for Best Lead Performance. It was certainly in the running for Best Supporting Performance for Bo Burnham. This film is incredible. This is one of the best movies of the year, obviously, is the Silver Award for Best Picture winner. And it's so, you can't really talk about this movie much without spoiling it. And I think that's what's great about it, is it truly does have this kick to it where you want to know what's going to happen from the very beginning to the very end. And it plays on a lot of tropes. It plays on a lot of, what you expect to happen. And some of those things do happen, and some of those things do not happen. And it will rip the rug out from under you at some of the things that end up going down in this movie. The last 20 minutes are so suspenseful, so unique, so different, and it just hits on such a gut punch. It's a perfect comedy, is a perfect movie for the times, for the Me Too era. It is an incredible film, and that is why it is the Silver Award winner for Best Picture. But we are on to the Gold Award for Best Picture, the biggest award of the night. And the winner for Gold Award for Best Picture is also my favorite film of 2020. Is The Five Bloods.
Five Bloods.
This movie is incredible. The way it balances modern day and Vietnam are so interesting. The war scenes are legitimately interesting and exciting to watch. Something that I don't usually like are war movies, and the war sequences in this film are impeccable. Spike Lee did such a good job on them, but it is capturing the emotion of soldiers who have spent 50 years having to deal with what happened in Vietnam, returning for the first time to Vietnam. How he deals with those emotions is so beautiful, so profound. And when it was released, this movie was released in the middle of summer, in the middle of so much happening in this country with the Black Lives Matter movement. The ending of this film felt so strongly and strictly relevant. And I hate saying the term relevant, but it is true. It felt like they went back and reshot it to create a different ending to fit the times. It is incredible. I can't think of a movie that more sums up the year of 2020 than The Five Bloods and all that it was able to capture. And it captures comedy at times. It captures drama. It captures action. It goes into different cultures. It captures race in such a unique way that no other movie about Vietnam does. The opening title sequence is one of the best opening title sequences I have ever seen. This entire movie, the soundtrack, everything worked on a different level in this movie. And that is why it is the Gold Award winner for Best Picture.
Woo!
So now we have the winners of the Gold Awards listed right here, which are The Five Bloods won 4 Gold Awards, which were Picture, Lead Performance, Supporting Performance, and Soundtrack. Promising Young Woman won 3 Gold Awards for Screenplay, Comedy, Director. Borat, subsequent movie film, won Best Breakout Performance. Soul won Best Family Film. A Hidden Life won Best Cinematography. For Sama won Best Under the Radar Film. Happiest Season won Best Ensemble. Pieces of a Woman won Best Editing. Birds of Prey won the Tom Hardy Award. Mandalorian won Best Television Show. And Succession won Best Television Performance. And here we have the nominations that were multiple noms from a film listed and where you can watch them. So many of them are available right now to watch, either for purchase or for free if you have a streaming service. The Five Bloods is on Netflix. Promising Young Woman is available for purchase. Happiest Season is on Hulu. Birds of Prey available for purchase. Soul is on Disney Plus. Portrait of a Lady on Fire is available for purchase. Borat 2 is on Amazon Prime. Driveways is on Showtime and available for purchase. Uncorked is on Netflix. Pieces of a Woman is on Netflix. Tenet is available for purchase. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is on Netflix. Sound of Metal is on Amazon Prime. The Assistant is available for purchase. King of Staten Island is available for purchase. The Way Back is available for purchase. A Hidden Life available for purchase. The High Note available for purchase. And The Trial of the Chicago 7 is on Netflix. So, thank you to everybody for watching the Max Awards. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you check out these movies. These are the films that I believe hit me in a way during the year of 2020 in such a unique, weird year that these left a mark. And I hope you watch them. I hope you enjoy them. That is my ultimate goal with these awards, is to get people to watch these movies. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Woo!